Within Asia, there are airports known for the difficulty of its approach for pilots. Immediately, Lukla in Nepal and Paro in Bhutan immediately come to mind. For this video, we are going to be in the Philippines, and we're going to be talking about an airport in the city of Baguio in the central Luzon area. The airport serving the city of Baguio is Loakan, a small airport surrounded by mountains. It also happens to be part of new efforts to boost the tourism industry in the area. The city of Baguio is located around 240 kilometers north of Manila in the central Luzon province of Benguet. In what is otherwise a very warm climate in the Philippines, Baguio is in a mountainous area 1,400 meters above sea level, which offers residents and visitors alike cooler weather compared to the other parts of the Philippines. For this reason and also the other attractions, Baguio is known as the summer capital of the Philippines, a popular tourist destination for locals, and for some city residents of Manila, they do have residences in the area. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic in 2019, Philippine tourism officials estimate that around 1.7 million tourists visited the city, and this number is mostly made up of visitors from within the Philippines. While it's a popular tourist destination, getting to Baguio can often be a task, and it's often a 6 to 8 hour road trip from the capital city of Manila. Then this brings up Baguio's Loakan Airport, which at present does not serve any regularly scheduled commercial flights. This may seem odd for an airport built in the 1930s, though the airport is built on hilly terrain and often weather conditions can make the approach to the airport more difficult. Historically, the airport has played a part in Philippine aviation history, as the airport was the destination of the very first flight of Philippine Airlines in 1941. Philippine Airlines would wind down operations in the late 1990s to the airport, and since then there has been one other airline, Asian Spirit, a predecessor to Philippine Air Asia, that operated flights to Loakan until around the 2000s. Since 2012, the airport has only been served by military operations along with private aircraft. As for why there hasn't been any major push for flights to the airport has a runway length of around 1,800 meters atop a hill surrounded by ravines. With mountains nearby, pilots are often challenged by poor visibility during certain weather conditions, making it not an easy airport for pilots to operate at. In the years of operations of the airport, there have been several accidents, including 2 commercial airline accidents, including Philippine Airlines aircraft in 1952 and 1987, both of which resulted in fatalities. Adding to the commercial airline incidents, there was a crash involving a military training plane in 2005, and in 2009 there was a helicopter crash in the area which claimed the lives of several former presidential aides of then-President Gloria Macapagal-Arroyo. The safety concerns, among other issues, have really not made the airport appealing for airlines to operate flights at. So with the airport not really used for commercial traffic as much, the runway is also used by pedestrians and ground traffic to get between both sides of the airport. However, this lull in commercial traffic could change, as the Baguio city officials have been working to jumpstart commercial flight operations at Loakan. In the 2020s, prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, Baguio city officials were in discussions with the Philippine Department of Transportation officials to operate flights at the airport. Things got even more interesting as the San Miguel Corporation, which is overseeing the New Manila Airport project in Loakan, got into the mix, as it was working to propose to operate and manage the airport. Among the possible markets that the Baguio city officials, including Mayor Benjamin Mangalong, were looking at for the Baguio-Loakan Airport to be serving would be flights from Baguio to cities like Cebu and Davao, providing opportunities for travelers from the central and southern parts of the Philippines to skip having to go through to Manila in order to get to the summer capital of the Philippines. As part of the renewed push to operate flights at Loakan, the local government of Baguio identified 110 properties within 150 meters width from the center of the airport as a buffer zone where things there would be demolished. While the demolition plans would ensure the safety of aircraft operations at Loakan, the move met resistance from the local residents of the area. Since then, as we know it, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the global aviation industry, and there has been no major updates to the current plans for reopening flights at Loakan Airport. However, there is an interest for the Philippine tourism officials, especially the city officials of Baguio, who are gearing up to revamp the tourism industry in the area, as travel restrictions within the Philippines are being eased right now. The small runway of around 5,000 meters may not be ideal for the Airbus A320s operated by Cebu Pacific or Philippine Airlines, though it can be argued that the airlines do operate the aircraft capable of landing in the area, such as the Cebu Pacic's ATR-72s and Philippine Airlines de Havilland-8s, both being turboprop aircraft that could be accommodated at Loakan, which could operate the regional flights to areas like Cebu or Davao in the Philippines, along with shuttle flights to and from Manila. Having regularly scheduled commercial flights to Loakan Airport and serving Baguio would be an interest of the Philippine government, as the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines is spending around 1.5 million Philippine pesos per month for the operations of the airport. While there may be demand, there will be challenges for pilots and the infrastructure development of the airport to get it ready for commercial flights. Among them would be work on the terminal, lighting, and navigational aids. Along with that, I could see some set standards for pilots operating to and from Loakan Airport, including landing procedures for the commercial pilots to train and get familiar with. Any new commercial flights serving Baguio's Loakan Airport would be the first in nearly 2 decades, though to start, and these days there will be a lot of work to be done to get the airport flight ready. I definitely hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. This has been Flights in Asia, highlighting the news and updates from the aviation and travel scene in the Asia Pacific. Thanks for watching and have a great day.